classic car on a classic track. This week we take the old school Formula One cars to Belgium for the Grand Prix Legends at Spa-Francorchamps. And it's going to be an incredible race to watch live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi, I'm Chad Irvine. Here with me in the booth today, as always, is Ryan Walker. Our director is the wonderful Sean Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. It's a world-renowned circuit that we all know by heart, but let's learn even more about it in this week's track guide.
Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps. Less than an hour's drive east from the German border, this Belgian track has come to define racing for many different eras in the sport. It's no wonder it continues to entrance drivers when you look at the stats. The 7 kilometers over the course of a lap includes more than 330 feet in elevation change as it weaves its way through the Ardennes forest. Packed into this is 19 turns, some of which are considered among the most famous in the world of racing. Corners like La Source and Blanchemont have been on the lips of drivers for decades. But by far the most notorious is Eau Rouge and Rétillon. Typically referred to in name by just the first section, it dips low and swings left, then compresses and climbs to the right up a massive hill. The sequence ends with a completely blind crest that sweeps to the left and leads onto the incredibly long Kemmel Straight. The bravery required to be fast through there will pay off towards one of the most popular passing spots at Lacombe. Eau Rouge is exemplary of the rest of the circuit though. Most of the turns are incredibly fast and many include much of that signature elevation change. As jaw-dropping as the track is, you have to remember that this is the modern truncated layout. The old one, raced until 1979, was 14 kilometers in length, yet carried an average speed of 150 miles per hour. Present-day safety measures do cut down on the danger, but even in recent history, the circuit has proven deadly. It's clear why this track continues to be revered and respected by racers the world round.
And Ryan, we're getting set for qualifying here in what should be an absolute firecracker of a race. Tell us a little more about this track.
Yeah, this fantastic Spa track has been around for quite some time in real life and also in iRacing as well. And today it will be host to the Lotus 49 Grand Prix series, and we'll be using the classic pits layout of the track being 4.35 miles in length, or 7 kilometers if other people prefer using kilometers. And the passing zones are going to be possibly La Source, Lacombe, and also Pouillon, but the danger areas of this track are going to be Eau Rouge and Rétillon. Trying to go too wide through that section is just asking for a recipe for disaster, so drivers are going to have to be very careful. But also you've got Blanchemont, which you could possibly make a move, but it's a bit of a risky corner to make a move, or even into the bus stop you can make a move, but sometimes it can go horribly wrong. But I think the aim of today for these drivers is going to be just trying to keep out of trouble, and also those dreaded off tracks.
Yeah, that Eau Rouge complex of this track is one of the most iconic corners in all of racing, and these cars are going to have a blast just flying up that corner. I know you turned some laps in practice. I did as well this week, just trying to get a feel for this track, and it was very fun but very difficult to get that right while doing it as fast as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit of a risky, and I think if you overdrive the Lotus 49 around the Spa track, it can go horribly wrong, as I found out when I was doing some laps during the week.
Yeah, and right now as well, the sun is shining. It's not the hottest of days, though, only 19 Celsius. It's about 70 degrees Fahrenheit for the track temperature. These guys going to have some easier handling conditions than what you might expect for an August afternoon here in Belgium. These guys running the classic layout, going to have some fun with it. As we have a couple of guys trying to work their way through qualifying. As right now, in terms of qualifying times, nobody is yet to set a time. A couple guys starting to come across the line. Let's take a look here at the championship standings right now, as your top five still pretty tight with Rob Olenek 20 points ahead of Topi Courtniemi and Mick Claridge, 10 points behind him. Then Bill Tyler and Ove Trengrade battling pretty hard for that fourth spot.
Yep, and in the F2 Championship at the moment, it's been led for most of the season by Finland's Pekka Risto on 129 points. He's pretty much been the man in form for most of the season, so doing a good job. But in second place now, we've got another Finnish driver with Hideki Koivisto, 44 points further back. So it's pretty much still in contention for that championship, Koivisto, but he's also got another challenger with Dave Cohen in third place, who's fallen to third, 46 points further back. And then fourth, we've got Michael Gringsinger from the United States, and then rounded at the top five, we've got Eugenio Massa from Italy.
And last but not least, we have our Nations Cup. And in that one, the United States in the lead by 45 points, a sizable margin for U.S. over Finland. And then United Kingdom even further back at 130 points. Another 58 points back to Norway, and France takes the fifth spot, 211 points off of the United States. So U.S. are really seeming to have control of the Nations Cup with some very strong drivers competing for that trophy. As these guys, you see them starting to get some fast times out there. A couple of corners left for some of these guys to see our first times of the session.
Yep, and the race details for today. This is the 10th round of the 12-round season, so we've only got basically one round left after today, or 2 rounds left, I should say, with the race length being 15 laps today. So it might not seem like a long race being 15 laps, but the size of the Spa track, it'll probably feel like an eternity with these Lotus 49s. And the setup as always is open, so you're free to make any changes that you want to make the car better. And the incident limit says that 17x will be a penalty, or 25x you will be disqualified from the race.
Yeah, and depending on how hard you push the track limits here, those incident limits could end up being a problem. I think most guys are going to be pretty careful with that, with the safety rating on the line. You're seeing some of the fastest laps tick off at the top right of your screen. Michelle Dudenon right now at the top with a 213.770. And not far back is Rob Olenek with some new names up near the top as well. But right now it's now Mick Claridge all the way to the top, as we've got a big gap between your top three and then everybody on further back. This is a ride on board with Chris Murakami. You can watch him here through the sweeping left-hander. It's going to be a switch in just a little bit back to the right as these guys just try to set down the best times as possible, trying to keep the car under control. As Murakami 2:16.783 on his first lap. Not the best lap to start out, but he's got some room to improve, and he looks to be on an absolute flyer here on his second lap.
Yep, absolutely. As we're just about to take a look at Dave Cohen as well. He's coming up. He's on the run up to Blanchimont at the moment. He's still in contention for that F2 Championship, but last week in the previous round he just had a disaster of a race where he didn't even connect to the session, and that was pretty much put a dent in his F2 Championship hopes. But coming up to the final couple of corners now through the bus stops again, and looks to be a decent lap at the moment as he's coming across the line now, or he's coming across the first start finish line, but the finish line we'll be using is the one after turn 1.
Yeah, a little different layout than the current start finish line location, but these guys know what they know where the start finish line is, and they're absolutely pushing as he goes with a 2:16.386. That's an improvement there. Rob Olenek now going to be the next guy across the line. As we take a look, he actually just finished his lap. Ove Trengrade is the next one across the line. He is working his way through the final couple of corners, currently sitting in P7. Can he improve on his lap? He does, to a 2:14.876, and that is a big improvement for Ove Trengrade. That's good enough for the fourth spot.
Yep, so looking at Xavier Sanchez as well, just came across the line and finished his lap to end up in P9. But yeah, just coming into the closing stages of qualifying, some drivers are still out on track completing the laps as Roland Wallbank comes across the line and slightly improves. And then looking at Lance Dawson coming across the line, it looks like to be a decent lap. It looks like he might be able to improve it. Yes, he does. 216.6.
A very big improvement there for him, as the grid has been set now, and we're getting ready for a 15-lap shootout here in the Belgian countryside. Let's take a look here at your starting grid for today's race in the Grand Prix Legends. Mick Claridge on pole with Michel Dunan on the outside of row number 1. Then Rob Olenek and Ove Trengrade, Anthony Kiernan and John Olsen, row 3. Then Ben Soko and Bill Tyler, and wrapping up the top 10 is Xavier Sanchez and Pekka Risto.
And then starting in 11th, we've got Chris Marikami with Gwendell and Odo alongside him in 12th. 13th is going to be the Danish driver, Laus Dawson. 14th, Antonio Rees. And then Borja Velero in 15th. 16th is Michael Gringziger, Yanni Lehman in 17th. Matthew Mosley 18th. Hideki Koivisto 19th. And rounding out the top 20 is Dave Colin.
And 21st is Steve O'Malley, then Andrew Ang, Eugenio Mawson, Andre Bruno, Erlen Wallbank, and Jordan Soko. Toby Courtney, then the first driver to not set a time, with Bruce Nelson on the outside of him, then Jeff Saunders and John Sheehan in the 30th spot. And there you see the rest of the drivers there on your screen as the grid starts to fill up with Don Good, Gary Anderson, then Robert Reynolds and Clinton Adams, and Stuart John wrapping up the field here. 35 cars, one of the biggest fields of the season, as we get set for some exciting racing here from Spa. And these cars are a blast to drive here. It's just a matter of moments away from the green flag. The revs starting to rise. The lights are getting ready to go out here, as a full field driver is going to send it straight up Eau Rouge on lap 1 here. It's going to be very fun to watch this. Just a matter of moments away from the green flag.
Indeed, just waiting for some drivers to join the grid, and it looks like we're just about to get on the way.
And the green is out. We are underway here from Spa, and it seems to be a clean start so far. Everybody gets away nice and neat and orderly as they set it up Eau Rouge for the first time. Single file for the most part. Oh, some trouble further back. That's Steve O'Malley going right under one of his competitors. I think that might have been Dave Cohen. That he went under further back, but the front two still single file with a couple cars tucked in behind them. That's Mick Claridge now up front, battling with Michel Dunan and Rob Olenek with Ove Trengrade right there as well.
As they head up to Rivage now, turn 8, and Claridge still in the lead, but he's under attack from the feisty Frenchman Michel Dunan, heading up down to turn 9, no name corner. And at the moment, it's been a relatively clean start to the race, but as you know, around Spa, anything can happen, and especially some wider parts of the track, you can get an off track, like we're seeing here, like this section here, for example.
Yeah, it's a very difficult track to get everything just right. There's a lot of corners here that can force you into it. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. But still up front, it is Mick Claridge, as he's got some fierce competition back behind him. As it looks like we've had a issue as well for John Sheehan, as he tows back to the pits. Here you see the guys getting ready to complete their first lap here, getting set to come to one of the most tricky parts to get right as they come up to the bus stop chicane.
Yep, one of the most difficult corners to get right, and sometimes it's so easy to lose it, but you're having to brake so hard. But looks like most of these drivers are managing to navigate their way through the bus stop without any issues to coming up to turn 1, and just about to complete the end of the first lap. But still, it's Claridge in the lead from Dudion, and in the background as well, we've got Rob Olenek.
Yeah, we've got a pack of 4 braking out front. as right now it's still Mick Claridge in the lead as they complete their first lap, and this is going to be the first time through Eau Rouge Radion at speed, as Mick Claridge still just absolutely flooring it up the hill as he makes the long trip down here to Lacombe.
Yep, and it looks like the slipstream and battles are starting to commence now, and it looks like Dudion was trying to make a move on Claridge, but Claridge went to the inside to defend into Lacombe, and manages to keep Dudion behind for the moment. But right, looking from the rear view, Dudion right now, I think Claridge, normally you would expect him to pull away and just dominate, but around Spa with the slipstream, it's not really that easy to do.
And it was a very long lap, 2 minutes 20 seconds the lap time here in 2:13 lap times here in race trim. So it's going to be a fun one to watch. Only 15 laps. We'll jump back here to P7 where Pekka Risto leads the next train. It's Risto, then Sanchez, Old, and Olsen. A huge train back behind here, about 6 or 7 cars battling for the 8th spot.
Yep, and also in that pack as well, you've got Ove Trengrade as well, who had a disaster of a start. He got a slowdown through the Eau Rouge and Radion section, so basically he lost several positions, but is right on board for him now. It'll be interesting to see if Ove can try and fight his way back, but at the moment it just I think he's just trying to settle down at the moment, and we know how feisty Ove can be, and he likes to throw that car around, which is not always the best thing to do around this track.
And one of the guys battling for the championship, Toby Courtney-Emy, working his way through the field, but your leaders now building that buffer. Those front three have a slight gap back to Antikyridin, but those front four have a very solid gap back to the 5th running car of John Olsen. As you're taking a look at the battle for the lead as Mick Claridge sends it up the hill and tries to keep the car as straight as possible on exit, as he's got the long, great launch off to Lacombe.
Yep, and Rob Allnutt puts in the fastest lap of the race so far, and again, Claridge is going defensive, trying to keep Dudion behind, and Dudion, I think at the moment, is just maybe, he doesn't wait to make a move, but he's just kind of playing mind games in a way, trying to unsettle Claridge at the moment, but still these two are close together, and just in the background there you saw is Rob Allnutt just keeping a watch and brief, but again, Dudion, I'll take that back, he's looking really feisty, but at the moment I would just, if I was him, I would just settle down a little bit and just settle into a rhythm.
Yeah, these guys really know each other well. They're very respectful racers, and we've seen that week in and week out. Mick Claridge, though, very defensive, taking the inside line every opportunity he can, as he's got about a 0.3 of a second lead over Mick Claridge. This is further back. This is Pekka Risto running in 7th spot, leading the train with Xavier Sanchez right behind in the 8th spot. Here's a look at the onboard, looking over the shoulder and watching this wheel work its way across. And here comes Sanchez trying to make a move, but too far back to do it, as they get ready to approach one of the most difficult passing sections of the track in the bus stop chicane.
Yep, absolutely. Xavier Sanchez is probably really quick in this car, but at the moment he's further back in the midfield, just keeping in it, trying to get by the car in front of him, but heading up to Blanchimont, trying to make a move up here is a bit risky, and I think Xavier Sanchez is just deciding not to take any risks at this stage of the race, which is the most sensible thing to do, I think.
Yeah, you see how much of the clean traffic they have up in front of them. They got about 4 seconds up the road to this battle. This is between Olsen and Soko, as they get set to take their shots at the top 5. Olsen holding on to that 5th spot for now, but how long can he hold it? He has got a very talented driver in Soko breathing down his neck.
Yep, and we've seen in the previous races so far this season how quick Benjamin can be, and again having another good race in 6th position at the moment, and it looks like he's got a decent run on Joe Olsen, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move, and at the moment Olsen's just kind of matching Zoko for pace, but it looks like Zoko's pulling out, just maybe trying to rattle John Olsen's cage at the moment.
Yeah, just peeking in the mirror saying, hey, I am here. And speaking of drivers that are here, Michel Dudnan letting Mick Claridge know, hey, I am here. I want that lead. I'm going to do everything I can to take it. Working lap number 4 of 15 now as Claridge still in the lead. Qualified on pole, and your top 3 are running right where they started this race. Claridge, Dudnan, and Olenek, with Antti Kierden right there in the fray as well. And a little attrition starting to play a factor here. A couple of drivers have had to work their way down pit road. Hideki Koivisto, Bill Tyler, Gary Anderson, and John Sheehan are at least one, if not multiple laps down. So those guys look like they're not, unfortunately, going to be able to finish this race. But this battle up front still starting to heat up. We'll take a look a little further back now. This is that battle we were talking about earlier with Risto, Sanchez, Old, Olsen, and Trengrade, all right there with about a sheet of paper between them. And we're going to go on board now with Trengrade, seeing if Uwe can't work his way through, pick these cars off one at a time. And the hardest thing for him is once he gets past somebody who's trying to make the next move and then trying to get clear of this field. He's proven that he has speed all season long. Now it's going to have to, when he can't make that move, hard on the brakes as they go down into the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw the onboard of Ovi Trengrade as well. He was getting sideways even before heading into Blanchimont. And yeah, I thought he was going to lose it. But Ovi Trengrade manages to keep control and just keep it in a straight line, like you would say. But at the moment, he's lost touch with the pack in front of him.
Yeah, he got the next position, which was to his benefit, but unfortunately he's also lost a little bit of time to these cars in front of him. Over a second now behind Gwendolyn Old. I think that's barely within slipstream range. He's going to have to be absolutely perfect here to try to catch back up to this field in front of him.
Absolutely, and Topi Kortenemi puts in the fastest lap of the race as well. But still, this battle for in the midfield is still going on at the moment, and Trengrade, he's not making as much progress as I thought. It looks like Pecoristo and Sanchez are starting to get really feisty at the moment.
Yeah, and what that's going to do is slow these guys up as there you see that fourth car in line starting to catch back up to them as well. So these guys fighting very hard. The battle for the lead. Now it's still your top 3. That Antti Kierden's dropped off about a second behind those guys. So the battle up at the front was 4, now down to 3, but they are still racing very hard up there. Here, though, it's still Risto, Sanchez, Old, and Trengrade doing everything they can to hold on to the slipstream of one another, with Laust Olsen trying to get back in there as well.
Indeed, it looks like Sanchez is trying to sneak his load up the inside of Risto, but yeah, through that right and left, it's pretty much you can't really make a move through there. But Sanchez has to back out of it, and Risto holds the position for now.
Yeah, Sanchez doing a great job here, just biding his time, trying to stay patient with it as he now works lap number 5 of 15. Got a lot of time left. He's peeked his nose out a couple of times. Is he going to make the move? I think he has the pace to do so. The only question is, when is he going to have the opportunity?
Yeah, it's a good question indeed. As I head up to the bus stop chicane now, and Sanchez is still... Oh, it looks like... who was that in the background? That was Trengrade that just about ran wide there and locked up.
Yeah, it's a very different line that Uwe was taking there. Is he's got... he made a move a couple of laps ago on Laust Olsen to advance 1 position. As we see these guys work their way through what in this configuration is the final corner, working their way down to the line as they get set to work their way through Eau Rouge and Radion all the way down the straightaway.
Yep, as they head up through Eau Rouge and the Radion now, and it looks like Trengrade's got a bit of a run on the exit there. Manages to carry good momentum through Radion, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move on Sanchez, as Sanchez goes slightly defensive there, and Trengrade not close enough to make the move at this moment in time.
It's a long, wide open straightaway down the Kemmel Straight, as they gonna have to get hard on the binders into Lacombe, as these guys still fighting very hard, and you see every opportunity he gets Sanchez trying to peek his nose out and kind of just put the pressure on Pecoristo.
Indeed, it looks like Sanchez is under attack yet again from Bobby Trengred as they head down to his long left-hander, and probably one of the trickiest corners I've found with this car is to get right, because if you try and carry too much speed or even try and get back on the power too early, you can lose it and spin, or even spin into the wall. So these drivers are having to be very, very careful.
You always think you can carry a little more speed, but the car, you carry too much, you're going to run wide and get into that outside barrier that you talked about. It's never fun to end up there, as these guys still fighting very hard as we now are under 10 laps to go. These guys absolutely having a blast out there. So it's still Claridge, Dudnot, and Olenek. Top three have kind of broken away from Antti. This is Ove Trengrade. Down a couple of spots from where he started, and his lap times, he's a couple of seconds off of what he was running earlier in the race, but I think most of that is just because of how hard these guys are battling.
Indeed, it looks like Trengrade took that 8th position, but further back we've got the battle for P11 going on at the moment, and Topi Cortinemi has made great progress from 27th on the grid up to 11th.
Yeah, it's been just methodical picking his way through now, as he is all the way up in the field to the 9th spot. Topi just making mincemeat of the field, did not set a time in qualifying, not sure the reasoning behind that, but the hardest thing for him is once he gets through this line of cars is to get any further in the field.
Indeed, as a back up at the front, looking at the leaders as well, but still got Claridge is still leading, and Didion is still keeping with him, but not too far behind as well. We've got Rob Olenek, and these three drivers have managed to drop Antti Kerinen, who's fallen back.
Yeah, Kerenen's lost a little bit of time now, 4 seconds or so behind these guys, but Mick Claridge still leading the train of the front three, and some familiar faces around him. He's got to be just having the biggest grin on his face, trying to hold on, do what he can, with Michel Dudnot and Rob Olenek right there behind him, waiting for their opportunity to get the move done here at Spa.
As they head up to the run-up to Blanchimont now, these three are still really close together, and it's pretty much, I think this battle is going to be sorted out by one of these guys making a mistake, or even if Claridge makes a mistake. I think that's the only opportunity these guys are going to get to try and make a move, but at the moment, Claridge handling the pressure pretty well, heading into the bus stops again, and again, one of the trickiest sections of this track with this car as well, as Didion gets a little bit sketchy, as further back, the battle with Risto is still going on at the moment.
And a car you'll see missing from this race, or from this battle, is Xavier Sanchez. He just spun very hard into the wall. Looks like he took the tow back to the pits, so his day appears to be done. But these guys still fighting very hard. It's been an incredible climb through the field for Topi Corniemi. This is a look back at the replay. What happened to Sanchez is he was just absolutely fine. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact from behind. He collected the wall and then hard into the tires. So unfortunate drop for him, as he was running up in the top 10 just a matter of moments ago.
As I think he just got sideways, lost control, and hit the wall. And from my testing I done during the week, it's so easy to do there, and you've got to be really careful, especially if your application of power down that run up to Blanchimont. But as you ride on board with Michel Didion at the moment, he's still behind Claridge, but again, it's just you can't really do anything about Claridge, and he can't get by.
Yeah, it's such a draft-heavy track. You can wait all the way down the Kemmel Straight and try to peek out at the end, but you have to be close enough to get the move done. Dudnot trying to find any opportunity he can. Here you see how close he can get through the corner, but the biggest issue for him is getting that launch off the corner, trying to keep momentum up down the straightaway, taking advantage of all that slipstream that you get Dudon not able to do so as we are approaching halfway in this race. So still Claridge, Dudon, Olenek, your first three, and you see the gap kind of building there from Dudon back to Olenek, with Antti Kiernan now 7 seconds behind that group.
And just watching Claridge's onboard from my point of my view in game, he just clattered that inside curve through Blonsumont, and he lost the car a little bit, and that's gave Dudon a chance to try and make a move, but Dudon gets a bit sideways in the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, he was along on the outside. Claridge able to defend. If you're able to get clear by the time you get through that first part of the chicane, you can definitely kind of cut the nose off of your competition there. And Dudon, unfortunately, not able to stick it around the outside and have the inside line on exit. So still Claridge, Dudon, Olenek, your top three, and they're fighting very hard. Here they go up Eau Rouge.
And Claridge just managed to make a little bit of a gap to Dudon. Dudon's not close enough to try and make a run or make a move, but yeah, that could have ended up in disaster for Blonsumont for Mick Claridge there.
And there you see the drivers working their way through Lacombe. These guys just absolutely having a fun time out there. It's Mick Claridge still returning, looking to return to his winning ways as he now works his way on lap 7 to go. And it's going to be a fun one here. This is a battle a little further back. This is Ove Trungerade trying to hold on to that 7th spot with Topi Kortniemi pushing and putting all the pressure on him as they're about half a second apart on the track, but it feels a lot closer.
Yeah, it does. As looking at the battle between Trungerade and Kortniemi at the moment, and Kortniemi up into 8th place now from 27th on the grid. This is probably, if there was a vote for the driver of the race, Kortniemi would be my main contender, but at the moment we've still got a few laps to go, so I don't want to jinx Topi rather, but riding on board with Trungerade at the moment, he's doing everything to try and keep with him.
Your leaders making their way through some lap traffic now. They navigate through that cleanly, but here's a look on board with Topi Kortniemi as Topi trying to do everything he can to work his way even further up through the field. Topi talked about it not qualifying as we got going back up to the front. Wow, this battle out of nowhere is very, very heated. These two, the last couple of laps through that chicane, we've seen moves from Michel Dudon both times through there. I think you see the gap that he now has, that he is behind Mick Claridge. I think he's got to reconsider making the move there and just trying to get the launch off the corner, because now both times he has tried to make that move, he has been alongside going into the chicane, but unfortunately on exit he just loses way too much time.
He does, and that's the thing with the bus stop chicane as well. You get the urge to make a move into the chicane, but on the other hand, it's possibly best to try and maybe kind of like square the corner off and try and get a great run on the exit. But I think Dudon is maybe just getting a bit overexcited at the moment.
Yeah, you can think about making those moves, but it's really hard to get it right, and it hasn't worked out yet for Michel Dudon. If he can use the slipstream to his advantage here, he can possibly make that move once again, but I think at this point he has to realize that's maybe not the best opportunity unless he can get the move done under braking.
Indeed, and I think Dudon, if I was Dudon, I would maybe just wait behind Claridge, plan what I'm going to do if I get the run, and then plan where I'm going to make the move. Yeah, you can maybe make it into the bus stop chicane, but I think the best opportunity, honestly, is on the exit of Radion, if you can get a good run.
So these two now, you see the gap back behind them. They have about 3 seconds, a little bit of time to play with here if Dudon wants to try to make this move once again. Going to have to see where he might be able to do so, because he has been looking at every opportunity trying to find a way past and take the lead.
Yep, as I head up to Blonsumont now, and it looks like Dudon's getting a lot closer. He's closing up in the slipstream, but still he's got to be very careful for Blonsumont. It's so easy to lose the car, especially on the exit, as Mick Claridge gets a bit sideways there and does a good job to save that. And again, Dudon to the outside, Claridge to the inside, defending his line. And I think Dudon's been sensible this time and not trying to go on the outside on the entry to the bus stop chicane, but still, as they head up to turn 1, De Dion's a lot closer this time around.
Yeah, that's the thing about getting the run off the corner that we talked about. He's that much closer. The gap is about half of what it was last time through that section of the track when he tried to make that move. Now as they work their way through the final couple of corners, now on to Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Can Dudenon keep his momentum up? It looks like he's dropped back just a little bit, not as aggressive up the hill, is now down the long Kemmel straight, very defensive line, all the way to the inside for Mick Claridge, trying to hold on and getting every bit of slipstream. Now peeking to the outside is Michel Dudenon.
Yep, peeking to the, tried to sneak on the inside, tried to peek on the outside, but he just gets a little bit sketchy under braking, and I think he was caught out slightly by Claridge. But still, these two have been close together for most of the race, and it's been an absolutely fantastic battle between I think anyway, two of the quickest drivers in this car, along with Rob Olenek. And I think they're putting on a great display of racecraft and respectful racing.
Yeah, these guys have been very respectful all season of each other. Great racecraft between the two, as Claridge still now holds a 0.3 of a second lead over Michel Dudenon. Can he hold on to that for the next 5 laps? Only time will tell, as it's now Claridge, Dudenon, and Olenek, your top 3. Olenek now about 3.5 seconds back behind these two. Jumping back now to the battle for the 7th spot, that's Topi Courtniemi, just trying everything he can to hold on to that spot, feeling a ton of pressure. Uwe Trengerade in that number 5 car right behind him. Here's a look out the back of Topi's car, looking to the outside, but not going to have the preferred line. Now for Trengerade, as he tucks back in behind Uwe. Can he get the move done? Not yet, but they've got a lot of racing left to go.
Yep, and they're closing up to the battle in front of them for P5. That's Benjamin Zocco and John Olsen. So Topi Courtniemi is absolutely on a mission through the field, and it wouldn't surprise me if he picks up another couple of positions and moves up into 5th place on the next lap, or in the next couple of laps at least. But as they head through Bonsemont now, Courtniemi's got the runner Olsen, but can he make a move up the inside? He's showing the nose. Can he go up the inside? He's close enough, and I think, that just about ended up in contact, but Olsen left just enough room.
Yeah, very close between the two of them, and yeah, we talked about how hard it is to get a move down there, but doing it successfully so far. And man, 4 laps to go already. This race is just flying by. It's only 15 laps, but these long laps are ticking off pretty quick. Looking back up front, Dudenon got by Mick Claridge coming up Eau Rouge, and wow, not the place I expected to see that move. Here's a look at the replay, see what just happened as they work their way now up the hill. This is now on the Kemmel straight, not taking the defensive line for Mick Claridge, as now it's still worth diving into turn 1. Here's a look at the move once again. Yeah, just on exit of that Raidillon corner. Not able to keep his momentum up was Claridge. So Dudenon up to the point for the first time here in this race.
Yep, and I think Claridge just decided not to make too much of a fight of it when Dudenon got by. I think he, as you saw there, he just lifted off slightly and let him go. So I think Claridge he's been clever about this. I think he's just going to try and stick with Dudenon and try and plan what he's going to do within, maybe on the next couple of laps.
And jumping back to the battle for 5th, this is Soko and Courtniemi battling hard for that 5th spot, and right behind them is Uwe Trengerade and John Olsen. So these 4 cars all for position as well. Very defensive line for Soko. Courtniemi tries to go around the outside, but not able to keep his momentum up to get that move done. So it's still Soko leading the train with Courtniemi, Trengerade, and Olsen back behind.
Absolutely, as it was like there's a move going to be done here. It was like, can you get the move done? He's up the inside. Will they leave each other just enough room? Yes, they do, but it looks like you've got a bit of a concertina effect starting to. They've had contact back up at the front between Dudenon and Claridge.
Wow, you're gonna have to take a look here at the replay, see what just happened between the two of them, as they are fighting very hard into the bus stop chicane, hard under braking, a little bit of a wiggle there and going around. Oh, a great save there from Dudenon. No contact with the barrier, and very respectful racing from Mick Claridge as he allows Dunan to stay in front. Those guys battling very hard for the lead.
And yeah, riding on board with Mick Claridge as well, and that was a good bit of sportsmanship from Mick as well. He slowed down to give the position back to Michel as he's closing back up on the braking now, and I think this battle is not over by any means, and someone else has joined this battle. It's third place man, Rob Olenek.
Yeah, Rob Olenek was very far behind these guys, but he's cut that gap down to about a second. So now he's going to do everything he can to get back in the fray. But yeah, we saw Dunan just kind of lose the back end through the first part of that bus stop chicane, and that allowed, I think the unexpected closing rate from Mick Claridge is what caught him out and allowed for that contact to happen. This is further back. This is that battle for the fifth spot that we've been looking at so much through this race, because it is just an absolute firecracker between them. These guys not giving each other an inch of space, taking everything they can get. Oh, very close there for Trengrade. Thought about making the move up the inside, washing out just a little bit on exit, but they keep things clean, and they're settled out here with just over 2.5 laps to go.
Yep, and this is a fantastic battle between these four cars, and John Olsen, I think he's probably thinking, what would I do? He's probably getting in a bit of a panic in this battle, but he's doing the sensible thing. He's not doing anything too erratic. He's just kind of just being sensible and letting these guys by. But still, yeah, it's a fantastic battle. And Cortinemi, as back up at the front, the lead is starting to... Oh, McLaren's in the wall!
Oh, very hard contact. Wow! Spectacular crash as he goes around. Let's take a look at the replay, trying to see what just happened. He tried to make the move. His left tire's on the grass there, being very aggressive with his lines and just picking up the throttle. That curb, oh, the curbing just upset the car enough. And unfortunate there for Mick Claridge. Very hard contact with the wall, and it looks like his race might just about be over.
It's like I was saying before, you can get it so wrong through Blanchimont, especially on the exit if you catch that AstroTurf stuff. And unfortunately, Mick Claridge found it out.
And this is that battle again for now the fourth spot, through that very, very tight right-hander, now working their way down the run to Eau Rouge, and now up the hill as fast as they possibly can. Is now the fourth spot held by Topi Courtniemi, but he's under pressure from Trengrade, and both of those guys have had incredible races. Topi from 27th all the way to 4th.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. Courtniemi's been passed by Ovi Trengrade though, or Trengrade tries to make a move on the outside. Can you hold it? He'll hold the outside, but he'll be on the outside yet again, and Courtniemi is just managing to hold the position. This is fantastic stuff between these two.
Yeah, and still on the outside. Can he get clear? No, not yet. Side by side, wheel to wheel. The inside going to pay its dividends, but now on the switchback. Can Trengrade get the move done? It looks like he can. He is ahead, but only for the moment, is now still side by side between the two.
Yep, and it looks like Trengrade has took the position for now, but Courtniemi's coming back at him, and he's got a great run, but I think he's not going to be able to make a move. Trengrade's trying to defend the position, but Courtniemi is just showing that he's there, and Trengrade a bit sideways.
Yeah, these guys have been side by side for what feels like half a lap now, and it's a very long lap to be that close at quarters with the cars around you. These guys, wow, just spectacular racing between the two of them.
Yep, as we're on the lap 14 at the moment, and it's the next lap will be the last lap. But it looks like both of these two. I thought both of these guys were going to try and go 2 by 2, or too wide through Blanchimont. But I think Courtniemi just decided to be Trengrade rather decided to be sensible. Jesus, there's so much going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's great racing all throughout this field. Very hard on the brakes as Courtniemi, a little tire smoke. But able to keep it pointed in the right direction. Can he hold on for the final lap? Only time will tell. So it's now Dunan with about a 2-second lead over Rob Olenek, and then Kieran Courtniemi back behind as well. One final time around here, as there you see how much people have gained. Michel Dunan way up, or still up at the front. Topi Courtniemi up from 27th to 4th. and some very big movers. The biggest loser, I think, so far has to be Mick Claridge. Started first and currently parked on pit road in 22nd spot.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, Trad, but I thought, Courtenay and Trengrade were squeezing each other. I thought I was going to end up in big contact, but luckily both of them have managed to survive and leave each other just enough room. But again, great battle between these two as we're on the final lap.
Yeah, it's still a fantastic battle between them here through the tight right-hander. And now they're going to sweep back to the left a couple of times and just tucking back in line for the moment as Uwe Trengrade as we ride on board.
Yep, and if I was Trengrade, I would possibly just wait behind Courtenay and maybe try and make a move into the bus stop chicane. It's a bit risky to make a move there, but if you can get a good exit through Blonsum, I think it's more than possible you could make a move.
Yeah, look at that suspension travel over all of the bumps. Not the smoothest track here, and these guys are making it look easy because I can tell you from experience, it is not. So these guys still have a couple final corners to go, but getting ready to go through the final corner for the final time is Michel Dudnan. Not too much pressure from Rob Olenek back behind. These guys having a blast out here with Topi Courtenay still leading the way. And out through the final corner for the final time is Michel Dudnan. So Dudnan going to take the win with Rob Olenek back behind. So it's Dudnan and Olenek, your top two, and there's a look at your winner cresting on his victory lap, cresting Radion. And now Topi Courtenay looking to hold on for that fourth spot.
Yeah, and the battle for fourth place is going to be settled by the looks of it, and it looks like Courtenay from 27th on the grid is going to finish in fourth position, with Trengrade just behind him fifth, and then Benjamin Zocco in sixth, and John Olsen seventh, and Pecariso eighth.
Not too many battles back on track at the moment. Maybe the closest one right now is further on back in the field, where Steve O'Malley is feeling some pressure from Andrew Ang. So these guys still, you see a little bit of a gap between them. But, anything can happen these final couple of corners through the chicane for the final time. And then they're going to have to work their way through the tight right-handed hairpin. There you see what's the traditional finishing line. But here, sending it up the outside is Andrew Ang. Can he get the run off the corner? He's going to have a preferred line. What a fantastic exit for him, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep his footing. You saw the slight wiggle on corner exit. Ang gave it a valiant effort, but unfortunately it was not enough as Steve O'Malley going to take that position at the end. And a fantastic 15 laps of racing here from Spa. We're going to step aside for a brief moment and get these guys a chance to collect their breath. We'll be back here on GSRC in just a matter of moments for your full field rundown and some post-race interviews. what a spectacular race it was here from Spa in the Grand Prix Legends Series. A fantastic battle, unfortunately, for the lead that was ruined by a spin by Mick Claridge, putting him into the wall. But Michel Dudnan ends up taking the top spot, then Rob Olenek, Antti Kiernan, and Topi Courtney. Topi 27th to 4th here in this race. Uwe Tringrid wrapped up the top 5. Then Ben Soko and John Olsen. Pekka Risto and Gwendolyn Old wrapping up the top 10 then is Laust Olsen.
Yep, and finishing in 11th was Antonio Rees. 12th was Chris Marikami with Matthew Maudsley in 13th. Dave Cohen, after starting in 20th, finishes in 14th. And then 15th was Bruce Nelson with 16th going to Andreas Bruno. Steve O'Malley 17th. 18th was Andrew N. 19th was Don Good. And rounding out the 20 with Jeff Saunders.
And 21st, Jordan Soko, Robert Reynolds in 22nd, then Grissinger and Mick Claridge, after leading so many laps, unfortunately had to drop out of the race after some very severe contact. He finished 3 laps down. Then Eugenio Massa, Jan Lehman, Gary Anderson, Roland Wallbank, Bill Tyler, and Xavier Sanchez wrapping up the 30th spot. As there you see drivers finishing multiple laps down back behind on your screen. As now Rob Olenek joins us here in the booth. Rob, a fantastic drive and a surprising second place finish after what transpired in front of you.
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't a fantastic drive. I didn't drive good this whole week. And I get lucky that, Topi didn't qualify and Mick crashed. It was not really lucky. It might have actually got me the championship. I haven't done the math yet, but it's got to be really close. And if it is, I didn't want it to go down that way. I knew I just wasn't going to be that great here at Spa. I've always had trouble with Source and Rouge. And we're coming down to Mid-Ohio and Road America, where I just knew that we were all going to be back on the same pace, and it would have been much more fun if it was. Hopefully, maybe I don't have it and someone still got a shot, but it would be much more fun if you're going for something down to the wire.
Yeah, you talked about Mid-Ohio. We have 2 American tracks with Mid-Ohio and Road America wrapping up the season here. What are your thoughts there? Because those are very different tracks to what we see here at Spa, where it's just a 15-lap endurance event, basically, because the laps are so long.
Yeah, I think Road America is a similar length. It's always really good racing at Road America for us. Usually here too. Those guys found some extra pace this week, and I didn't. But Mid-Ohio, I really like. It probably fits me really well. I like to. I'm better. It's not that I like a lot of the tracks that I like. I'm actually not that good at, but I'm better at just turning in hairpins, slower stuff, more technical tracks. And that track's got like a slick sort of surface. See, it's gonna be slow for everyone, and I think if you can have the right mindset where you're thinking that, and then you just do as well as you can and not be frustrated with how it feels, you can probably do pretty well next week.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic drive for you this season. It's been great watching you run at the front of the field week in and week out. As we wrap things up here on the broadcast, anybody you want to thank? Any shout-outs for you?
All the same people. One of the things, I wish I could do a French accent. I would love to get Michel on here at some point, or at least it would be cool if I could fake it out and pretend like I was doing his interview, because him and Mick had a great battle. And shout out to Mick and Topi and the rest of the guys in here. I mean, they're helpful. I mean, I'm actually quicker than this week than I even would have been without them. So I'm competing with them and they're helping. It's a really great community. But thanks, guys.
Yeah, it was a fantastic drive for you, and congratulations on the second place finish. As Michel not going to join us in the booth, he said he's got beers waiting in the fridge. We're going to be joined instead by your third place finish of Antti Kiernan. Ryan, looks like you've caught up with him.
I have indeed, and Antti finishing on the podium, and it's his first podium of the season, I believe. So, first off, Antti, congratulations on third place. That was a great drive by you, but you were pretty much all by yourself for most of that race.
Yeah, well, this was like yesterday, pretty much. I stayed with Rob and the guys for a few laps, and then I just lose them. I make too many mistakes, and they get away, and then I lose the draft and all that. Then it was me by myself, and as per usual, when I'm left alone, I drive quite poorly in terms of speed. And for the few last laps, I saw that Topi has overtaken everybody else except me, and I started panicking a little bit, but I'm glad there was 10 seconds or something, so he couldn't catch up.
Now, we've seen you improving this season quite a lot, but as the season's gone on, you've started getting closer and closer to the front. Is it just, have you been putting in a lot of practice, or is it just kind of, does this car suit your driving style?
I think both. I had a long vacation during the summer, so I put a lot of practice in. And also, for the first time, I have been making my own setups pretty much and training with the race fuel. I used to do quali fuel only, so then I was fast in qualifying and very slow in the race. But I think it's better to train with the race fuel.
And then looking ahead to Mid-Ohio next week, do you think you can finish on the podium there next week? Or is it just kind of just see how it goes, and if just try and finish as close to the front as possible? I mean, you finished on the podium today, and you've been getting closer to the front, like I mentioned. So another podium finish must be the aim.
Yeah, well, I don't hope too much. I didn't expect a podium here, to be honest. Not at all. Yeah, but last time I think I did quite well in Mid-Ohio. Well, that doesn't mean anything. I think I might have gotten lucky, but I like the track. Yeah, it's very hard to pass there. So not the best in terms of passing, but it's a fun little track to drive around.
Well, again, congratulations on your first podium finish this season, Antti, and we look forward to seeing you on track at the Mid-Ohio next week.
Yeah, thank you.
As that was third place finisher Antti Kerinen joining us, and I believe up next, Chad, you have got a Topi Korteniemi with you.
Yeah, Topi, what a phenomenal drive from 27th up to 4th. What was the decision behind not qualifying here today?
It wasn't a decision. I hadn't played that scenario in my head at all, but I got a 1x in the first turn in the Les Combes on the first lap, and then thought that let's just do a banker lap for the second lap, so I'd be like top 5. That would be good enough for a win, but on my second qualifying lap, I got a little wiggle after the Eau Rouge, and I think the left rear tire was just a little bit past the white line, and got a 1x again, and gave up. And well, but it was fun. It was fun going through the field.
Yeah, well, what's it like there with so many very skilled drivers up in front of you? What is it? What's the mindset just trying to get through everybody? Because I'm sure it couldn't have been easy.
Yeah, because I don't know the braking points about the guys in front, and obviously there was May on the first lap, so I was lucky in a couple of spots there. I just for some guys I just had to drive behind them for a couple of laps to see kind of how early they're going to brake, and then go for a move. And some guys really fought hard, and respect for them. They weren't as easy as I thought at first to pass, and the battle with Uwe, that was I haven't had that for a while.
Yeah, that was a fantastic battle to watch, and it was so much fun. Going to Mid-Ohio next week, 25 laps there. What are your thoughts on that track?
I've never raced there, so I better start practicing.
Hey, it's going to be a fun race for sure. Anybody want to say hello to any shout-outs for you?
Michelle for the win. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a great fight there up at the front, and congratulations to you for a fantastic drive through the field.
Oh, thank you.
That's Topi Kortniemi, your fourth place finish with a phenomenal drive from 27th all the way up to fourth on the grid today. And one final interview here on the day. Ryan, you've caught up with Mick Claridge.
Yeah, Mick was involved in that awesome battle for the lead with Michel de Dion, and Mick, you guys were going at it, but absolutely like crazy. And then when you were in second, heading through Blanchimont, it just seemed to all fall apart, literally. But
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah. No, listen. I was gonna. Yeah. No. Let me just tell you the story of the week. Basically, what happens is I do sort of 90 to 100 laps, and then Michel turns up on Wednesday or Thursday, and he did 7 laps, and he was on pace with me. He was actually a little bit quicker. So he really is really good at Spa. Everyone knows how good he is. You should. Do you know what? I just thought they should have one of those iRacing achievements. You know, I beat Michel at Spa in the Lotus 49. You know, that's how good he is here. And so when I was in front of him, I was, I was like, you just have to drive out your skin to just sort of, be able to race the guy and actually sort of look like you can race. You know, if I'd have stayed on track, it would have only been, a couple of corners and he'd have gone. So yeah, really, really good fun racing him. I think I've only ever beaten him once or twice here in 7 years of racing him. So yeah, pretty tough. But yeah, oh man, coming out of that corner, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. To beat Michel here, you have to really drive, out your skin, and I had my foot planted coming out of that corner, and just a bit too much curb, and around she went,
Yeah, it's like I was saying during the broadcast, it's so easy to lose it there, especially on the exit. If you catch that slippery, that's the tough stuff on the exit. And unfortunately, you found it out. But I know I keep asking about the championship, or asking you anyway. Do you think you can still mathematically take it or stay in contention, or do you think Rob's once a step close to wrapping it up?
No, I actually think Rob might have it. I'm not too sure. Both me and Toppy had to win today, I think. Rob's still got a couple of nice drop weeks to fall back on, I think. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think he's got it even if he don't turn up. I think we have to, either me or Toppy, well, especially Toppy now, me probably not, but Toppy has to win both the races and Rob has to finish something like 6th or something, or maybe even worse now. For the last 2 races. So, yeah, I'm pretty much out of it. I'm just going to be racing for the official championship now. I'm going to try and give Rob some hell. He probably knew that I took the lead off him last night with the win last night. He's probably nabbed it back. So, yeah, it's still to play for that. So I'm going to race hard for that, yeah.
And then looking ahead to Mid-Ohio next week, do you think you can get back in that top step of the podium? And, basically, are you just going to, with regards to this championship, is it just basically try and finish second at the end of the season?
Yeah, I'm just going to try and go for the 2 wins, Mid-Ohio is a brilliant track. Rob's always quick there. We've been saying already that it's going to be a battle between, all the top guys there. It's just one of those places where everyone's up to speed. And Road America is just, as you know, it's just got such a huge straight there. You're never going to get away from anyone, unless you're Michel.
Great to hear. Well, again, commiserations on today, Mick. It didn't go the way you wanted it to, but hopefully you can redeem yourself and bounce back next week at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, cheers, man. Let me just say well done to Toppy this week as well, because his pace was up there with everyone else's. He was so quick. So fair play to him. It's such a shame he missed out on qualifying. It would have been a hell of a war up front.
Indeed. Well, again, unfortunate Mick, and we'll look forward to seeing you on track next week.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
As that was Mick Claridge joining us. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way, but look forward to seeing him back on track next week. And I have to say, Chad, that was today was an absolutely awesome race.
It was a fantastic race, and unfortunately, the McKenzie boys really seemed to get him there towards the end. But a fantastic race for all the competitors here in the Grand Prix Legends, and we have to give thanks to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen. Additional thanks to June Lamont, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. And thanks to the entire squad today, Ryan, Sean, Dougie, I'm Chad. And if you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it all at globalsimracingchannel.com. Or you can check out our social media through the outlets listed at the bottom of your screen. And if you'd like to support the channel, go check out our merchandise store at simracingmerch.com/GSRC. Link is in the description below. And also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We just crossed the 12,000 subscriber mark, so great to see the channel growing. And you can do the same so you don't miss a moment here of the action on GSRC. Also have some upcoming races for other series listed on your screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.